Minnesota is Rust. Back at you with, is this a rat rod? So in this series, every picture or video we're looking at, the vehicle, according to the owner, is a rat rod. So I agree sometimes, don't agree sometimes. And here we got a sweet little Model A Roadster. Oh, that'd be so cool to have something like this someday. So the question, is this a rat rod? I will say no, and here is my reasoning behind that. So I look at this and I see traditional hot rod all day long. So the original hot rods were coming out of whatever car parts were left behind in those 40s and 50s. Yes, you had people with souped up Model Ts. Yes, you had people with, hot rod banger 4 cylinders and GM straight sixes. And people swapping straight sixes into where fours were and straight eights and all that. Or, real oddball stuff. Lincoln Zephyr V12s dropped into things. But as a movement, as a whole, when you had, drag racing, organized drag racing, which sanctioned organized drag racing, which first was coming around in California, and you had the rum runners coming out of the South, leading into roundy round racing, dirt track and NASCAR in the 40s and getting into the early 50s. These cars were, because something newer was, so much faster, so much nicer. Some might have had automatic transmissions even. These old guys, the younger generation had them at their disposal. Very cheap, easy to work on. My dad talks about regularly buying cars for $75, for $50. And back then, that was a lot of money. But even if you extrapolate all that out, it was pretty dang affordable. So here you have, this might even still be 6 volt. Here you have, white walls, skinny white walls all the way around. You have some kind of cool custom steel seats in there, which is cool. But old lettering there. We have drop axle on the front, the longitudinal spring there. You can see bolted to the frame in the middle. I would bet this was still a 4 cylinder in here, even drum brakes. No chrome that we could see, nothing flashy added here. This is that traditional hot rod vibe. This is that hot rod vibe. If you look kind of in the back corner of the picture, not the Porsche, but you see the orange wheels, that Model A sedan back there. That's a little bit closer to a rat rod. But you can't see the rest of it there, so we won't talk about that. But this here, this is your hot rod. So why take the time and parse words? Why take the time and create these mental Venn diagrams? Because I think it's important to respect where we came from. Iron Trap Garage, big YouTube channel, a guy sells tons and tons of parts. He and the people he works with. Look at what they're doing. Those are traditional hot rod kinds of things. They'd probably be offended if some of their work was called a rat rod. And I can't tell you how many car shows I've been to where someone will say, "Hey, nice rat," and they'll say, "This isn't a rat. I'm still working on it." Just because it was primer, just because there was rust left on it, people will get offended by that term. I think rats are awesome. I think traditional hot rods are awesome. This is a good example, though, of a traditional hot rod, in my opinion, whereas the owner is going to call it a rat. And that's cool. You get to do that. Like I said, your car, your truck, you paid for it. Call it whatever you want. But I'm happy to have the discussion on, hey, here's why I think it is this instead of that. So that's what we got going on there. Love this little Roadster. Be tricky driving it here in Minnesota winter, even though we don't got much snow here in winter of 2025. But no, this is awesome. Thank you much. Minnesota is Rust.